Celts. The Celts are Israelites under another name. The word Celt, capital C-E-L-T, is the Anglicised form of the Greek word Keltoi, which means the people who are different. In Scripture, all nations except the 12 tribes of Israel are referred to as Gentiles, foreigners. So the only people who are different are Israel. The word Celt is therefore another word for Israelite. The Celts are part of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, as are the Tuatha, Danaan, and Milesians. The Irish people are a mixture of Celts, Danaans, D-A-N-A-A-N-S, Milesians, Judah, Zarahites of the Red Hand, Genesis 38 verses 28 through 30. Dan-ish, D-A-N-I-S-H, Vikings and Norsemen are all racially cousins. Deuteronomy 14 verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the I Am thy God, and the I Am hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Special, different. Oxford Dictionary. Genesis 38 verse 28. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that, behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? Why hast thou made this breach against thee? Therefore his name was called Perez, capital P-H-A-R-E-Z, breach. Genesis 38 verse 30. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zara, which is scarlet. Therefore the Celts, according to God, are Israelites. The Irish Celts held 3 sacred assemblies every year at Tara, capital T-A-R-A, during Beltane, B-E-A-L-T-A-I-N-E, Lugnasa, capital L-U-G-H-N-A-S-A-D-H, and Samhain, capital S-A-M-H-A-I-N, which assured an abundance of corn and milk. Freedom from Congress. The enjoyment of righteous laws, comfort in every house, fruit in great abundance, and plenty of fish in their lakes, rivers, and estuaries, exactly as God guaranteed Israel in the Torah, T-A-R-A, Torah, T-O-R-A-H, if they kept the covenant. Also during the feast of Torah, the kings of Ireland used to settle the affairs of Ireland for 7 years, so that debt suits and adjustment used not to be submitted for judgment until the next feast 7 years later, which the Torah calls the year of the I Am's release, when all debts were forgiven every 7 years. This proved that Irish Celtic law was based on the Torah, and is further confirmation that the Celts are Israelites. Deuteronomy 15 verse 1. At the end of every 7 years thou shalt make a release. Deuteronomy 15 verse 2. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the I Am release. Deuteronomy 16 verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the I Am thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and the feast of weeks, and in the Feast of Tabernacles, and they shall not appear before thee. I am empty. Deuteronomy 16, verse 17. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the I am thy God, which he hath given thee, corn, milk, fish, etc., etc. Deuteronomy 16, verse 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the I am thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Deuteronomy 16, verse 19. Thou shalt not pervert judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. Deuteronomy 16, verse 20. That which is totally just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the I am thy God giveth thee. Also, the word British is not English, it is Hebrew. Brit, B-R-I-T. Berit, capital B-E-R-I-T, means covenant in Hebrew and Welsh. I-S-H, ish, means man or people of in Hebrew and English. Therefore, British means the people of the covenant. In other words, the people Israel of the covenant. The Irish people have rejected the English Davidic monarchy and its anti-covenant legislation, and that is good, very good. However, the Celtish Irish people are Israelites descended from Jacob, Israel's fifth of his 12 sons, who was called Dan and fathered the Tuatha, Danaan, the tribe of Dan, the Irish and Danish. Therefore, the Irish people are Celtish, British Israelites by birth, i.e., people of the covenant, in the Torah, in the Bible, and in the Ark, which is buried at T-A-R-A, Tower. Reject the house of Windsor's anti-covenant and therefore unlawful legislation, Deuteronomy 4, verse 2. By all means possible, but do not reject your birthright as Israelites and British people with your own emblem, the War Queen of Ireland, with trident and olive twig, Tuatha. Tuatha symbolized by Britannia, the 6th century BC queen of all Ireland. If you reject your birthright as Israelites, you are insulting God, who gave your birthright to you along with the covenant. Ireland is also called Hibernia. Hibernia from Eber, the great-granddad of Abraham, who was the granddad of Jacob Israel, from whom the Celts are descended. Hibernia, Ireland, means Hebrew's new land. Iberia, Spain, means Hebrew's land. The Basque, Galician, Asturian, and Guipuzcoan Celts are your cousins.